In problems B8, we have a flute, which is a tube open at both ends, about 59 centimeters long. If all the holes but not the ends are closed, what fundamental frequency is produced? Well, we know that the fundamental wavelength of a tube open at both ends is 1/2 of a wavelength. So 1/2 of a wavelength fits inside the flute. Well, how long is the flute? It's 59 centimeters long. We want to put that into meters, so that's 0.59 meters long. So 1/2 of a wavelength fits in 0.59 meters. That means a whole wavelength would be twice that size. We want to get rid of the 1/2 by multiplying both sides by 2. If we do that, we get 1.18 meters as our full wavelength, twice the length of the flute. So that's the wavelength. Well, then we say what frequency it's produced. Well, we're going to use V equals F lambda, and we're looking for the frequency, which means the lambda needs to move down underneath over here, and that'll tell us our frequency. Well, our speed, we know, of course, is 343 meters per second, and we just figured out our full wavelength is 1.18 meters. That tells me that the frequency I'm going to hear is a beautiful 290 hertz. So that's easy. That was the first answer. The second question was, what is the third harmonic? Well, we said that the fundamental was 1/2 of a wavelength, and so that means the first overtone is going to be 1 wavelength, and the second overtone is going to be 1.5 wavelength, and the third overtone is going to be 2 wavelengths. Again, notice that we're always jumping by 1/2 wavelength bigger every time. So if we're looking for the third overtone, that means we're here where we have 2 wavelengths shoving themselves into the 0.59 meter flute. So this time, instead of multiplying by 2 to get rid of the thing here, we need to divide both sides by 2. If I divide both sides by 2, that will cancel out, just leaving me lambda by itself, making the new wavelength 0.295 meters. So now this is the new lambda that we are going to stick down here in this equation. We're no longer going to use the other number, we're going to use the new number. So we're going to have 343 divided by 0.295, and that tells me that the new one is 1160 hertz. Or if we only use 2 sig figs, that would round off to 1200. And that's all there is to it. Pretty simple.